Iceland is one of the most stunning places in the world. If you have the opportunity, it will undoubtedly leave you in awe. And I'm sure you agree if you've already been. It is a volcanic land. You may recall the Eyjafjallajökull eruption in 2010, as well as the more recent Fagradalsvik eruption. Iceland is also a country with such unusual formations and terrain that it is one of the primary locations where Hollywood directors opt to film their films. Do you recall this Prometheus scene? It is indeed Iceland. This scene from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty can also be found in Iceland. This is from the HBO show Game of Thrones. Or how about this from Interstellar? Stay with me while I explore these 100 Icelandic oddities. You will learn about features of this country that are not available anywhere else in the globe. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about what most people don't know about this life in Iceland, the strangest country in the world. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Because of its proximity to the Arctic Circle, Iceland is an excellent site for viewing the spectacular aurora borealis. They often begin in mid to late September. During the summer, the nights in Iceland are pure and white, like though from a fairy tale. That means you can wake up around midnight, and if there is a visible moon, you can observe it on a magical and odd day. It is referred to as the midnight sun. The polar night occurs throughout the winter, and the sun is buried 24 hours a day. Icelanders have a lavish Christmas celebration. They frequently wear garments with Christmas patterns, such as reindeer or Santa Claus sweaters, and it is a joyful and exciting time. This is a photograph of Iceland in the dead of winter. Sunnyland was the original name given to the country by the Viking sailor Nader, one of the first settlers of the distant islands. Iceland's capital city, Reykjavik, is the world's northernmost capital city. It is known as the land of ice and fire because glaciers cover 11% of its surface, while lava fields cover 30%. After the United Kingdom, Iceland is Europe's second largest island. These are traditional Icelandic dwellings. In the country of Iceland, parents cannot name their children whatever they want. They must select from a list of approximately 2,500 names for each gender. In Iceland, surnames are derived by combining the first name of the father or mother with the suffix son, or daughter. In Icelandic, hello is hello, thank you is tak, yes is ja, no is no, and goodbye is blessed. The most popular men's names in Iceland are Han, Sigurdur, and Gudmundur, while the most popular women's names are Christine, Anna, and Grun. Icelanders are among the world's tallest people. Men stand 1.81 meters tall on average, while women stand 1.68 meters tall. In Iceland, the age is 16. The Great Geyser can be visited, one of the world's most stunning, capable of launching boiling water up to 80 meters in the air. It is a relatively small country with a population of less than 400,000 people. It has more sheep than people. There were 600,000 sheep in total. Iceland has a high cost of living. A lunch at a low-cost restaurant costs about $40. A Coke costs about $3, while foreign alcohol costs more than $7. A one-bedroom apartment costs around $1,600, depending on location. Since the arrival of the Vikings on the island, elves, Huldufolk, or hidden people, have been a part of Icelandic history. Most Icelanders do not believe in elves, although a sizable minority refuses to reject their existence. 4 Icelandic celebrations are thought to have a specific relationship to elves. What on New Year's Eve, 13th night, January 6, July night, and Christmas night are all examples. 120. Icelanders light candles on New Year's Eve to guide the elves on their trek to discover new lands. Is the number. Whale watching in Iceland is spectacular. They may be spotted all across the island, and there is a permanent population in the northern fjords. Iceland's average monthly wage is over $3,600, making it one of the highest in the world. A carl, or fermented shark, is a traditional Icelandic delicacy. It is produced from Greenland shark meat that has been buried for months with stones and dried. The finished product smells strongly of ammonia. All alcoholic beverages were forbidden a century ago, but they were soon legalized, with the exception of beer. Beer became legal on March 1, 1989. Icelandic men and women are said to be heavy drinkers as a result of this disparity. The Blue Lagoon, or Lagunarnesville, a geothermal spa located southwest of the airport, has the most famous thermal waters in Iceland. The waters are rich in silica and sulfur and have an average temperature of 37 to 39 degrees Celsius. Iceland is home to puffins, which are colorful beaked birds. They are not only appreciated but also consumed. Their fresh heart is even consumed uncooked as part of a traditional dish. The Westman Islands archipelago is home to the world's largest puffin colony. The Icelandic horse is a tiny horse breed indigenous to Iceland. The Ore Fissure in Thingvellir National Park is one of only 2 spots on the planet where you can see the boundary between 2 of the world's main tectonic plates, the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. The Thingvellir National Park is also historically significant since the Aegean or Icelandic Parliament was created there in the year 930 AD, making it one of the world's oldest. The suffix foss means waterfall in Icelandic, and there are certainly some unusual ones, such as Ronfossar, the lava waterfall, where water flows right from the interior of a solid lava field. Dettifoss is a 45-meter-high, 100-meter-wide waterfall with a discharge rate of 400 cubic meters per second. Given that Iceland is a European country, this waterfall has the highest flow on the continent. Because of its vast basaltic structures, Reynisfjara is known as the Black Beach of the Trolls. According to legend, the 3 massive stone outcroppings protruding from the water are petrified trolls trapped in the sun's rays. Kaleo, the Icelandic blues rock band, and self-portrait photographer Sorella Amor are among the most popular YouTubers in Iceland. Eyþór Julius Jornason, nearly 2 meters tall and one of the world's most muscular men, is Icelandic. You might recognize him as the Mountain in Game of Thrones. Famous Icelandic actresses include Anita Briem, Gösta Eva Erlendsdottir, and Hera Hilmar. Iceland is the world's first country to make it illegal to pay males more than women. Want a vacation to Iceland while saving money? Travelers frequently hitchhike, and Icelanders are accustomed to picking them up. But be cautious. If you're in a rural area, you could be waiting for hours and not be able to find a car or be lucky, and others who pass by continue. Icelanders are extremely hardworking individuals. Iceland is the European country with the most working hours. The typical work week is 43.5 hours long. Icelandic women have won the Miss World pageant 3 times, making them the country with the most beautiful women per population. The wind in Iceland is so diverse that there are more than 100 terms in their language to describe it. Grýla is an Icelandic mythological giant who can identify youngsters who have been mischievous throughout the year and come from the mountains before Christmas to find and eat them. According to Icelandic customs, it is preferable to have acquired new attire before Christmas Eve, when the Yule cat wandering the frozen fields will consume you. Iceland has one of the world's longest life expectancies, with women living an average of 83 years and males living an average of 80 years. There are around 48% women and 52% males in this country, with an average age of 38.4 years. Iceland's water is among the purest in the world, thus, it does not need to be treated. All Icelanders speak English in addition to Icelandic, and they also study Danish, though they rarely use it. According to a genetic analysis of the Icelandic population, the majority of the men who settled in the country were of Nordic descent. In contrast, the majority of the women were of Irish heritage. Iceland's icy surfaces make it impossible for ants to survive. As a result, this is the only country where ants do not exist. Iceland is an island located on the mid-Atlantic ridge between America and Europe. As a result, it has a high level of volcanic activity, with over 130 volcanoes, 30 of which are active. From a geological standpoint, half of Iceland is American, and the other half is European. Despite having only 120 professional football players, it defeated England in the Euro 2016 final. It is NATO's only country without an army. The term duvet derives from eider, an Icelandic duck whose feathers were used to stuff duvets. Icelandic roads are highly distinctive. The only one in good shape is Road 1 or the Ring Road, which circles the island. The worse the road becomes as the number denoting it rises. Diamond Beach is located next to the Jökulsárlón glacial lake. You will witness a spectacular display of ice floes floating in the river and sea, as well as enormous chunks of ice resembling diamonds on the shore. It is one of the countries in the world with the highest number of books read per person, and nearly all of its residents play some musical instrument. The Hallgrímskirkja, or Hallgrímur Church, is a Lutheran church in Reykjavik, Iceland's capital. The island's lava inspires its facade flows. It is the tallest building in the country, standing at 74 5 meters. Only 23% of Iceland's landmass is covered by flora, while 14% is covered by ice. Because their waters exceed 50 degrees Celsius, some rivers in Iceland flow indifferently to the cold. When visiting Iceland, consider hiking at Sólheimajökull, a glacier in southern Iceland. You will walk on solidified lava between the volcanoes Katla and Eyjafjallajökull, surrounded by vivid white ice. A popular tourist attraction in Iceland is exploring glacier ice caves and observing the changes in light and color of the ice, which ranges from white to turquoise blue. With so many thermal upwellings, Iceland has geothermal power plants that create electricity by using steam from the Earth's interior. This country has one of the most remarkable internet connections. Wi-Fi is available across the island. The Icelandic volcano, Snæfellsjökull on the Snæfells Peninsula, inspired Jules Verne's classic Journey to the Center of the Earth. In Iceland, babies are given the Nordic nap. That is, they are left to sleep in their strollers at the entrances of shops, cafes, or restaurants while their parents shop or eat. The eight-petaled dryad or holtasol is Iceland's national flower, a flowering shrub with 8 white petals and many yellow stamens. The dyrfóken is Iceland's national animal. SVG is an Icelandic traditional dish that consists of a sheep's head chopped in half, from which the hair and brains are removed and boiled. It is sometimes treated with lactic acid. Ice cream is Iceland's favorite treat, particularly braggrafur, a combination of ice cream and candy with various toppings such as crushed candies, biscuits, licorice, and fruits. Legend has it that the first Viking colonizer in the area buried treasure in a cave behind Skogafoss, a waterfall on the Skoga River. It vanishes if you happen to see it when you take the chest handle. Seals can be seen on the beaches of Iritonga in the south of the Niceness Peninsula and the West Fjords. 74 in the West Fjords near Tak-NF. Prine's natural hot springs can be found. You can enjoy them for free because they are maintained by town inhabitants who do not ask for anything in return. The Heritage Museum of the West Fjords, located on the shores of Stutterud Fjord in Sattur, has a permanent exhibition in one of the city's oldest houses. The Sun Voyager, Iceland's most iconic sculpture, is located in the capital, Reykjavik. It is a steel sculpture that resembles a Viking ship designed by John Gunnar Arnason to honor the city's bicentennial. Laugavegur, in the middle of Reykjavik, is Iceland's longest and one of its oldest streets. It is 2 kilometers long and was named Water Street since it used to be the way to the hot springs to wash clothes. As glaciers melt in Iceland, new waterfalls develop on a regular basis. The Glimmer Waterfall, at 197 meters in height, was the highest in the country until 2007. However, another one, Morsarfoss, developed at 228 meters that year. The Perlin Natural History Museum in Reykjavik boasts an outstanding glass dome. They've even built a glacier cave within, complete with sounds, ice, and a temperature of 15 degrees below zero. Icelanders enjoy participating in sports. Football, basketball, volleyball, and horseback riding are a few examples. However, handball is the national sport of Iceland. There are just 7 species of terrestrial animals that live in the wild in Iceland. The Arctic fox, reindeer, mink, field mouse, house mouse, brown rat, and black rat are all species. There are no railways or subways in Iceland. In the capital, people go by vehicle, foot, or bus. Kutmagar, a type of pudding made of cod stomach filled with liver, is a traditional Icelandic food. Doesn't it sound delectable? The quintessential Icelandic liquor is Brunad, also known as Svartadauði, which means Black Death. It's created from fermented potato mash and caraway seeds. Pet snakes, lizards, and turtles are forbidden in Iceland, and only dogs can be kept with special authorization. Cats pose no difficulties. It may seem unusual, but boxing was forbidden in Iceland until 2002 because it was thought to inspire violence. Vatnshnjúkur, located in the northeast of the Eyjafjallajökull volcano, is Iceland's highest peak at 2,109 meters. The most challenging aspect is remembering the name. There are no mosquitoes in Iceland. The only one known to exist is kept in the Icelandic Institute of Natural History and was taken in an airplane cabin in the 1980s by Gslymur Jolson. Icelanders have the most Nobel Prizes per capita in the world. Not because they have a plethora of Nobel Prizes, there is only one. Halldór Kiljan Laxness received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1955, but only because of their small population. The Cliffin Laureate Cape, which houses millions of seabirds, is Europe's most significant bird cliff. Despite the fact that Iceland is not tropical, the University of Agriculture in Iceland maintains a modest banana plantation. Because of the unusual light cycle, they produce bananas every 18 months. Q is Europe's largest glacier by volume and the second largest by area, encompassing 8% of Iceland's landmass. For 13 days before Christmas, Icelandic youngsters lay their shoes in their bedroom window. This is due to a visit from the 13 Yule lads, each of whom leaves a tiny gift. Iceland is one of the only countries with a genetic information bank for every one of its citizens, as well as a massive genealogical database. The Harpa Concert Hall is Reykjavik's conference and concert hall. Its exterior is made up of several various sizes and forms of glass that reflect both the sky and the sea. Iceland has 3 national parks, the greatest of which is Vatnajökull National Park. Then there are Snæfellsjökull and Þingvellir National Parks. Iceland has a high per capita car ownership rate, with 1.5 autos for every resident. It is usual in Iceland to detour roads or adjust construction projects to avoid damaging rocky places where elves are said to live or worship. The Municipal Museum at Ísafjörður is Iceland's oldest building, dating back to 1734. Old houses in Iceland have the year they were built on their exterior. Icelanders adore pilsner or Icelandic hot dogs. There is a famous treat seller in Reykjavik, because Bill Clinton said they had the tastiest hot dogs in the world. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.